R&B Money.
I'm going to get an apartment way out somewhere. Bro, I move out to like Valencia or something. I just got in the car one day, just drove. It was like
just drove for a long ass time.
For a long time, bro.
Shit.
For a loss like five. I want a five. I was like, what's this little quiet area? I said, I'm gonna live over here. I'm gonna just duck off and just build and create. And I remember at the time I'm still working with Polo, Chris, Dre Merritt, Rabe, and so I'm going back to the studio. I think there was a record plant, and now
from Valencia.
From Valencia. Now keep in mind, there's an underlying health issue that I'm dealing with that I don't know I'm dealing with yet.
Okay.
And so I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm like, yo, man, working in the studio late takes a toll because I'm thinking like I'm young, so there's definitely nothing wrong with my health.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was always like sleeping, or I fall asleep in the studio, or I'm like, people like, yo, VK, that's not normal, bro. You shouldn't be. I'm like, I'm just tired. Y'all taking too long, type of thing. Yeah, y'all need to hurry up. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm like, I could have done this a long time ago. But that's also not egotistical, but it's I've done this I've been making music I've been writing songs at 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
So I understand so many different variations, not from a standpoint of like, I'm a consumer. I like to observe, but also understanding this stuff like left and right. And so I fall asleep and I heard Rihanna was in the studio. I was like, what? How did I miss Rihanna? Like, I'm trying to be
while
her.
you were asleep.
Sleeping.
Yeah.
Next to the games.
Don't fall asleep in the studio.
Don't fall asleep in the studio. I'm sitting next to the games in the record playing. I wake up and he's like, yeah, you missed it. I was like, I never miss another session. I'm going to stay up. And sure enough, the next day she pulled up. I meet her, right? I'm in the studio. At this point, I'm working with Chris a little bit. And I'm like, and she's sitting over there because Reed always been her own, she just carries her own energy. And I was like, I'm going to go talk to her. I'm just going to so I walk up to her. I'm like, hey.
Do I know you?
Nice to meet you. I thought I knew her. I knew her from somewhere.
How you
I was
been?
like, man, just pleasure. And then I just like, I heard you looking for a new sound. Swear, I was like, oh, here we go.
That's what you randomly say to her?
I heard you looking for a new sound. Because we was working on a single, a reloaded single for her project. And I was like, yeah, I got a sound for you. And I took her phone out of her hand, bro. And it's like, I'm just putting my number in your phone and just here. And she's looking at me like, okay. And I just, and now in my mind, I'm like, oh, this is mortifying, bro. I'm embarrassing myself. This is crazy.
Yeah.
She's like, who the hell is this dude? So I gave her back her phone, was like, yeah, just hit me anytime. And we go over to Chris Brown, looking in the studio, looking at the speakers and stuff, looking crazy as hell, man. And I was like, I'm about to head out and just reclaim my life. And Chris was like, yo, play the keys before you leave. For real, I want you to play for her. I said, oh, yeah. You want me to play piano for her? Okay. So I got on the motif.
Yeah.
Boy, I said, this better. I better play for my life. You know, 5 heartbeats when the dude was running.
Yeah.
I said, this is it.
About music.
I said, I'm leaving. This is it. This is it. Because every moment that I always had the ability to understand that this is not a normal moment, but I have to normalize this moment at the same time, which is a hard thing to do because it's like all of it or nothing at the same time. So I was like, okay, start playing. You can just see her demeanor. She's like, okay, dope. I said, all right, man, catch y'all later. I got an email that night, bro. She's like, I love your energy, your spirit, your music's incredible. Bring me what you got. February 14th, 2007, dog. I got up 6 a.m. and made the track to Disturbia. Like that. And I was like, this is it. I got my mom in the car. I had my little...
Just you?
Just me on the track.
On the
just
track.
100%. Not Triton, but Logic at this
Logic.
point. Because, you know, I went to the training.
Welcome.
Yeah. I went to the training, you know. So I did it on Logic, and I made my parents get up. I was like, yo, I made this beat for Rihanna. Y'all hop in the car with me. We're going to just ride around in Valencia. And I was like, this is going to be it. I was like, this is it. This is the big day I've been waiting for. Get to the studio later that day. Walking in the studio. There's another producer there. He was like, what you doing here? I was like, I got a session, you know, some I got this track. He was like, let me hear the track. Play the track. He's like, trash. He's like, what is this? I was like, okay, shit, now what? So I walk out. I'm walking down the hall. Dre Merritt, Chris, Rabe, they all walking in. And Chris is like, oh, that's a CD. It's a demo. He just took it out of my hand. I said, all right, I'll be back later. I'm going to go. I got to do this Valentine's Day thing. We're going to see The Color Purple with my mom and stuff. And I was like, that's just...
And the one nigga already made you feel like your track might not have been it.
I was like,
Right.
today was the day I knew that life would change in my mind. I'm dramatic like that. And so I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. So I drive home. Let me do the Color Purple thing. And Chris, hey, come back. She's loving this song. She's loving it. Like, we got an idea for it. And come back to the studio. The dun, dun, dun. Started playing it. Dre got on it. Chris started writing to it. And she was like, yo, this is my single. And I was like, what? What'd you just say? I was like, keep it cool. Keep it cool. And she hit me. And no, Jay Brown called me like 2 days later. It was like, yo, I'm Jay Brown. I was like, I heard about you, man. Like, I know you Jay Brown to calling me. I was like, he's how much you charge for tracks? I was like, 20,000. He was like, hey, man, that's expensive. Somebody know you. They was like, just like, yo, check yourself, bro. I was like, well, you asked me. And I answered. He said, look, man, Reese paying for this out of her pocket. What can we do? 12. She wrote a check for 12,000. She's like, look, my budget's depleted because she did all these other tracks. But she A&R'd that herself. She said, I'll give you 12 and they come back. Bro, I'm 50% publishing that song, dude.
That's a lot more than a little 1,500 you was charging too.
Dude, that shit skyrocketed so fast. But no, not fast. 6 months, 7 months later. Sorry. And then Forever, right? Because I tapped in with Polo on Forever on the Chris Brown record. And so that's already going up in a sense. And I remember, sorry, just to continue that day, I wasn't feeling 100%. But anyway, knock that track out. So, all right, here we go. There's a Chris Brown single coming out, and there's a Rihanna single coming out. But it goes quiet. Like you said, it's like, will it not happen? Is it coming? Is it happening?
Yeah.
I go to Kansas City. My brother Kevin's my number one A&R to this day. He's here now. I'm like, move out to LA because shit about to go crazy now. And he was like, play me your demos, bro. Let me hear what you got. I played Disturbia of the demo. He was like, oh, this gonna go. This is your biggest hit. I was like, man, I ain't heard from him or nothing. He was like, man, this is your hit. Jay Brown called me that same night. Where you at? I'm in Kansas City. I need you in Denver tomorrow. We cutting Disturbia. Though went to this Denver, did the Glow in the Dark tour, watched it. Rihanna got in the studio, cut that mode. That shit came out. It skyrocketed number 1. Forever was number 2. The phone calls started happening. I was like, let's go.
All the phone calls.
All the phone calls.
I called you. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
No. I called him. And it was funny because I could tell the phone calls were coming. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I could tell.
You sensed it.
And it was also funny to me because and you can tell me if this is true or not. I think at first he thought I was calling him on some "you owe me."
Oh. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally was calling him just to tell him how proud I was.
I remember that day. I was at the Boomer Room.
You had number 1 and number 2 Hot 100 at the same time.
I remember that day.
And I called him and I could tell on the phone, he like, is this nigga about to press me? Right?
I was like, hold on. We just got to calculate real quick. How does this work?
And I really just wanted to tell him congratulations.
Mm-hmm. I remember that day. I remember it.
Because
100%.
You having that, and I've never had a Hot 100 number 1. You having that, I felt like was me having that with you.
Yeah.
Fuck money, fuck all of like. I was just like, this is the same kid.
Yeah.
Broke into your house and played the
piano. That broke into my house and played the piano.
Nights.
Yeah.
That got the number 1 and 2 song in the world.
Nuts.
At the same damn time.
Yeah, that was.
Nigga, congratulations.
Thank you. Man, that was crazy.
R&B Money.